All right, Ambush, and today we are joined by two members of a group who is mixing some catchy hooks, some roaring guitars, some hard-hitting rhythms inspired by some classic rock, and they mix it in a little bit of a pop and soul, and ooh, is it good for the soul? Because we are joined by two members of Chase the Bear. We are joined by Troy and Leo Gilmore, and of course, we are here to talk today about an upcoming album as well as a new single. It's entitled Underwater. How's it going today, Leo and Troy?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Very good. Very good. Thanks for having us.
Hey, it's an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. I'm excited to have you guys here as well because I am loving this new single. I can't wait to dive into it. But from what I can see from my research here, it's been a little bit of a process, a journey to get to this moment. So take us a little bit behind. Where exactly did the journey of Underwater, of this upcoming album, Honey, begin?
Actually, coincidentally and ironically, we didn't think about this when we set the camera up, but it started right here in our kitchen with an acoustic guitar where you're watching this right now. It's our band house. And, you know, I was writing a little song about a serial killer. And the chorus was, I don't know who's going to say it. I don't know who's going to say it first. And I brought it to our bassist, Braedan, in the kitchen, and we're jamming it. And Leo comes out and says, hey, that's pretty cool. But the verse should be more high pace. And we go, oh, okay. And we try and work on it a bit. And it kind of came out like 15 minutes on an acoustic guitar. Just boom, there it was, you know. And looking back at the lyrics, it was like, wait, what were you writing about? You know, he's like, oh, I thought we were writing about global warming, is what he said, was what my partner said. So I was writing a song about a serial killer the entire time, and he was writing about global warming. And at the end of it, it sounds like it belongs together. It's like you can't discern the difference, you know? So the song's about global warming, we've decided, and global warming being a killer, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, and then we took it to the band, and that's when Leo made it really heavy.
Yeah. As soon as they played it for me, I heard, in my head, I could hear very, very heavy, fuzzy guitars and really boomy drums. I was like, yeah, this is a really heavy song. Like, let's amp it up. And
then we brought it to our producer, Danny Craig, and it was on the short list of songs. We gave him about 50 demos, and he sent back 12 that he thought would be the record. And he actually said, I wouldn't make a record, but if I did, these would be the songs I'd choose. And all that we heard was, make a record. So we dove in. And Danny's production is really incredible on the track. That was November of 2019. We went into the studio and we recorded it, and we were going to release it in March of 2020, but that's when everything locked up.
Yeah.
So it's been 3 years. The crazy thing, the last thing I'll say about it, is we've been a band 5 years and we've had our unreleased album recorded for 3 years.
Yeah, we've been sitting on it for a while.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. So it's a factor of A, the world shutting down, and then just B, other things happened along the way, like you guys getting signed to a record deal.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
it was nuts. Actually, the whole lockdown thing, like that canceled the release tour. Like we were going to release it like the week the lockdown was announced.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But you know, we were signed to Rock Is Dead Records when we made the record with Danny. That's Danny's record label. And we were looking for publishing for the record for 3 years. And out of the woodworks, 604 Records came out of the woodworks. So in a way, had we just released it, we wouldn't have ever had the team that we have now that we really cherish.
We're really happy that we sat on it for a while. We let the plans cook in the background, and
we didn't want it to be another pandemic album. It's too many.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good, but it's too many.
So very true, man. It's, people want to be able to get out, celebrate, enjoy this music live and otherwise. And like you said, you guys want to be able to hit the road, support this music. So now that things are opening up, I'm guessing that's part of what made it that this was the perfect time to finally release this music?
Oh yeah, big time. Lots of shows have come back in Vancouver. It seems that there's a big artist here every other day. You know, and it's really endearing to see. You know, you go to the Commodore and 1,000 people shoulder to shoulder again. It's like, oh, you know, at first it was, this is great, but I want to run away. You know, like terrified. Yeah. You know, it's like, this is really sweet and wholesome to see. At the same time, but now I think that we got really good numbers and the Vax has come in really strong. So it feels like a comfortable environment again to be in. And so it's really, really cool to see. We're actually seeing our friends Brass Camel tonight.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a good show.
Hey.
The best show I saw this year was the Beaches when they came through. I was busking on the street and I played a Glorious Sun song, hoping that they would recognize it. And they stopped in their tracks and put me and my the love of my life on the guest list to their sold out show, which was crazy. And then I was in the Commodore, and that's what I'm referring to, is that experience of just being around like a whole 1,000 people for the first time after 3 years. It's just like, I'm so conflicted, you know. It's like I want to just give in and have such a good time, but at the same time I want like to take 20 more vaccines.
It was so much easier to deal with you when you were like single file passing by me outside. All right, if you guys could just play a private show to every single one of us and everyone will be comfortable, it'll be great.
Yeah, we'll do some backyard parties where there's only 10 people and they're all spaced out, 8 feet between them.
We're hoping to do some tour like next year. We did a few shows this year and there's a few more happening, but we don't have any big extensive tour plans until next year. We're hoping to find someone cool to play with. So if there's anyone cool listening.
Anybody cool?
Our first show of the year, our first show of the year at the Hollywood actually was kind of done on purpose for like build up for the single, because we did the music video there. And it just dropped yesterday or today.
Yeah, you can find our music video online. We should mention that it's on Rock is Dead's YouTube channel. And it was filmed here in Vancouver with all our friends and family.
It was such a wild show, and it was like the first time back in what seemed like a very, very long time to be in have a huge crowd in front of us.
Yeah, it's the first time in 3 years we had a crowd.
Yeah, like a proper crowd, and
we were so nervous. I think we fought over that show for like 3 months afterwards because we're like, this is the worst show ever. But it's like, no, it was just the first time being nervous in front of people again, you know, and that kind of colored the memory.
And seeing the video, after everything, it was like everything that happened was worth it, and it was. It was worth the fight. It was worth the battle, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And of
creative warfare.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As artists, you know, and as people too, we're always our own worst enemies, right? Where like we judge ourselves the hardest, where like everybody could have had a great time. Anyone in the building could like not have a single complaint. And you're still just like, man, I should have spun left instead of right.
Yeah. Or you hit a G sharp instead of a G for one split second, and you're like, I've ruined the whole thing.
The whole thing.
No one knows. No one knows. No one knows.
If you don't let them know, they have no idea.
On the second chorus, like the third song, like.
Oh, I love it.
I noticed your shoelace was untied on that one song, man.
Man,
threw off the mojo.
You threw off the mojo. When you were tying your shoe, man, what the heck? We were tuning. Like, you were tying your shoe. Where were you? Where were you?
On the solid beat, not the end.
The worst part about being in front of people again, it's great, but it's so nerve-wracking that there's like 2 seconds of silence between songs, right? Getting into the next song. And on the stage, when you hear that, as the audience member, when I'm in other shows, that silence is nothing. It's like, yeah, okay, they're tuning, they're turning the pedal on, they're getting ready. Okay, here, and then we're still doing it.
That silence between songs for a musician is like a nightmare.
When you're performing and you happen to be me or Connor, it's like, okay, word vomit. You know, it's just like, blah, blah, blah. was like, wait, why did I say all those things?
30 seconds feels like a fucking eternity, man.
That's crazy. I go live music more than the single of Shoot.
Yeah, it's always
Sometimes
like, who's going to
it's only
talk to?
4 seconds and it feels like it's like a couple of minutes. Like,
Yeah.
And there's always that awkward silence where it's like, okay, which member of the band is going to talk to the crowd? Come on, somebody? One of you? No? Me? Okay, fine.
yeah, and then everybody speaks at the same time and they're talking over each other.
You guys know it all so well. Of course, so we mentioned the nerves of returning to the live stage there. So of course I have to ask, when Chase the Bear is taking the stage, do either of you guys, Troy, Leo, do you have a pre-show routine? Does Chase the Bear have a little bit of a pre-show thing that you guys do before you take the stage?
We've gone through many phases. We, for years, what we would do is, and this is going to sound ridiculous. I'm aware when I think back on the fact that we did this, it's like, it's not gross. It's just like, you're crazy people, clearly. We would do like 5 to 10 minutes straight of jumping jacks to get like our heart rates going while doing like, and then just before we went on, and we stopped doing this after longer and longer tours because it's not funny when you're tired, but we would literally slap each other in the face and be like, are you ready for the show? And we'd be like bitch slapping at the shit out of each other, just like boom, boom, boom. And
Bitch show in, you punch
like, back. Yeah, but like when your heart's beating and you get that slap, it's like, oh God, what's going on? And you go out there with that energy, and it's like, that's a really intense level to start a show at. We always slap. We want to start the show with like the ending of show energy, and then try and go up from there.
We would go on stage sweaty.
All the time. Nowadays,
it's a little more chill.
I think we kind of realize that if you just do the normal thing that you would do any other day before the show, you're probably going to be in a pretty good place. So like on a normal day, if you just practice a little and do the songs a little and maybe smoke a joint or have a beer or something, do those things. Don't, I'm going to do it by the books and not have a single drink or a single toke or this or that. It's like, what you're going to do is just psych yourself out by overthinking the little details of what you're doing. And then when you're on the stage, instead of being present on the stage and spirit for the people to enjoy, you're in your head, thinking about, well, shit, I should have had that joint or something like that. Which, not to endorse that, but I just mean, be yourself, do whatever you do normally, and then to hype ourselves up. And we still do a little hype up, but it's different. Yeah. There was this rugby club that had us play a party in 2019.
That's something that's stuck. And I really like that one.
Their team slogan was, "You can't stop the bear." And their coach came up to us after our show and was screaming it with us, like, "You can't stop the bear!"
He's like a big guy.
Oh, yeah.
Vader was his name. He's such a cool dude. Like,
so now, just before, we'll check our sound and get a chord, and then we'll face each other and just start screaming, "You can't stop the bear!" And then we'll play.
Yeah.
And then we'll play.
And that's a really good way to, really pump yourself up. Me personally, my routine, ever since we used to do tours and we used to drink on tour, like my routine changed entirely. Like I don't drink anymore because of that. It was just too much for me.
Yeah.
Waking up with a hangover and then having to drive 15 hours to the next show and then do it all over again.
Yeah. Drinking's all fine and dandy. But when you're on tour, if you drink on your first show and you're hungover at the next 2 or 3 shows, you sabotage your own tour, right? For yourself. Like you might still give a good performance, but the whole time you're going to be sick in the car. Like, why did I do that?
So I just smoke a joint or whatever and
party on the last show, people.
The other guys, they like to drink. So like Braedan, he might have a beer. Connor might have a beer or something. And like, that's all fine, Danny. But we don't go overboard. We don't go up on stage like out of our element. We don't try to like
No, we're very lucid.
we just try to do like whatever we do. Yeah, exactly what he said is we just do whatever we did that day, like every other day. Just treat it like a normal day.
We pretty much want to,
usually at your peak,
whatever we do in the rehearsal space, we want to do the same thing on the stage. Like if it dramatically sounds different on the stage, something's amiss, because we're very well rehearsed. Even when we're not playing a show, we do 3 to 4 days a week, every week. And sometimes we'll play our whole catalog most weeks. So we'll write songs and do content, but then play our whole catalog, even when there isn't show.
Yeah.
So we're pretty tight on our music, and we want it to feel the same as the rehearsal space, because it's like, why did you rehearse if it's not gonna feel that way, right?
Yeah.
Yes, one thing that I've always heard is that you should practice like you're going to play, just so that like when you get to the stage, you're ready and there's no surprises, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we try to do too. Like
the guys are so painfully aware of every little dumb thing I'm gonna like shout on the mic.
We're hyper aware of each other's mistakes too, but I mean, like it's a good thing, because we when we practice, I know some bands, like when they make a mistake, whatever, they'll stop and they'll discuss it and like take it all apart. We'll go all the way through the song. We'll push through the mistakes and then we'll talk about it afterwards and be like, "Hey, you fucked up this part. You want to like practice that part a little bit?" Or, but we don't stop. We try to treat it like a show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the same sense of like engineering a show too, because you have the performance, but then you have the small things. So what Leo just said is, we will do exactly that. We'll, like, if we're not sure about a verse of a song, say it's our first song even. We actually recently put our first song back in circulation, Pockets Full of Change.
Mm-hmm.
And we played the verse for about 20 minutes straight, just trying to feel the groove together and lock in on it. But when we play our set, every time we start a timer and we say, like it's a fucking stadium, boys.
Can't go over. Come on.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Hey, professionalism. I love it. I love to hear it.
Try to keep the venue owners happy.
Hey, everybody from the promoters to the fans.
Kind of loud, but
okay, I forgot about them, but everybody else involved happy.
No complaints so far. We're not the bad, loud, noisy band. We're just loud.
Just loud.
Our neighbors are listening to a damn good band. No.
Or you got really cool neighbors. Either way, it works out.
We do. We really do. We haven't had a single complaint around here.
We've been in this house that we wrote Underwater in for 4 years, and some cats moved out. They're just down the street now, but half the band still lives here. And we used to jam till 2, 3 in the morning, and no one would say a word.
Huh.
But now it's kind of like, okay, wrap it up at 11 or we're going to say something.
Yeah.
But they still let us go from 9 in the morning till 11 at night, which is great. We can record demos and home albums.
All sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff. It's great.
Hey, awesome. And of course, you once again mentioned Underwater, and you also mentioned the music video a little bit earlier. You mentioned that some of it was recorded live. I happened to watch the music video earlier today. Checked it out for myself, saw some of the scenes, and like you said, the live show looks great, but also, Troy, what was it like to, get drowned for the purposes of a music video?
Both surreal, and
the first time he sung the lyrics while doing it, he inhaled while underwater. He had like a mouthful, like, he almost choked.
Actually,
oh goodness!
I was like, it was wild, man. Originally, the video was just the live video, and then our label partner Dave Benedict there. Oops, sorry, dropped some stuff. He was in his bathtub and with a GoPro, and he had this idea like underwater. Put your head under. Okay, yeah. So he filmed himself in his bathtub underwater and edited into the video to show us what it would look like.
Yeah.
And had us come out there to see it. He was out in Abbotsford and we're in Vancouver. So it was an hour and a half drive out there. And it's just, Wow.
What an
In our last music video for Heartache, we showed up on the scene and they were in a truck with a camera facing at someone, and they had about 50 hamburgers, and they said, "We want you to throw these hamburgers in this guy's face while we drive away and he chases after you." And we had no idea what we were getting into. And with Dave, it was like the same kind of situation where it's like,
so wild.
how do I keep getting into these moments? Because I got to his garage and he had an aquarium on 2 bar stools with a camera underneath the aquarium and these 2 light boxes. And he's like, "So here's what we're going to do."
Interesting setup. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to put my head under the water and lip sync the whole line while breathing water out to get the bubbles.
Mhm.
And the first like 10 times doing it was like choking on water and like, what the hell am I doing? And then after that, there was a weird like flip in my brain where I went from like, I guess being a little nervous and afraid of like getting water in my eyes and stuff like that, to realizing it was completely harmless. And as soon as my brain accepted that it was completely harmless, it was like so fun and easy. It was like playing around in a pool all day, you know? So I would do like the whole line underwater with my eyes open, and I would hold my eyes open as much as I could and look into the camera at the bottom of the aquarium. I've never had my eyes open underwater.
I would say that was the toughest thing for you to do, was keep your eyes open.
I've never had to do that in my life. And Dave kept saying, he's like, "I don't even use goggles when I go to the lake. Come on, you can do it."
Haven't you drowned before? Come on.
Water.
Back in my day, we didn't have goggles. But he's totally right. My eyes adjusted, and it was like, holy crap, our eyes are like designed to do that. Like you could see perfectly well underwater.
Yeah, after a while, like he got used to it. He was able to just slam his face into the water.
Yeah.
Eyes wide open, and it's like, damn, man.
Next time he goes to a lake, he's just gonna straight put his face into the water, and everybody there is gonna be like, "What is he doing?"
I'm catching fish, man. I'm catching fish.
Yeah, there was this at one point, Troy was like kind of hanging over it. All his hair was like dripping into the water, and Dave was coming over to the side of him. He's like, "Okay, so for this next shot, I just want you." And Troy like looked up, and he like lifted his hair, and it was just like this huge glob of snot. And they both just like locked eyes for a second, and then the snot just like came down and just bursted laughing. And then he like did it again, and it was just like there's like hair particles and like snot and shit all in the water while he was doing it. It's hilarious.
That was the part of it that took a commitment. Right, now put your head in the snotty water.
Yeah. I was like, all right, you're in it now.
All right.
You made your own mess. Get in the aquarium.
Yeah, it was a wild day.
Oh my goodness. I'm so happy I asked, because I was laughing that entire time.
It was quite the experience. It was awesome. And just being able to spend the day with Dave was also just like, he's such a rad guy.
It's always such a treat.
It's so fun to hang out with. I love Dave and Dave.
We love our label so much.
They're like
Rock
family.
is Dead Records. It's Danny Craig and Dave from Default, the drummer and the bassist. And Danny's actually done a lot of other productions aside from this. It's like,
he's got the vetoes.
I think he's going to be more known for being fucking one of the best producers in the world soon, more so than the drummer of a great rock and roll band. You know, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I mean that sincerely, Danny. This is cool. We're on a label with these 2 guys that feel like they're members of our band, and they feel like they're like really good homies, like they're good friends. Every time we're with them, it's like family. You know, it's great. It's great. I really sincerely hope that we make the next records the same way. You know.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. And of course,
not write the music the same way, because that'd be boring. But the team.
Yes, definitely. If it works, right?
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And of course, like you mentioned, the next album. But before we get there is an upcoming full-length album. It's entitled Honey. Without giving away too much, what can you tell us about this upcoming album, my friends?
12 tracks, 45 minutes,
ranging from slow dance material to reggae music to hard hitting fast rock and roll,
Love
songs, ballads,
acoustic songs.
I think the album
Political commentary song.
I think the album really shows how diverse this band can be.
Yeah. And it's on vinyl. It'll be on vinyl.
Yeah, we're releasing it on vinyl.
Yeah. I don't know if we're supposed to say that, but we did. And
Yeah,
it's a collection of songs that we had written since the band started. Yeah, some of them, like one of the songs that's coming out on the record is called Honey Brown, which led us to name the album Honey. And that song, we've actually had
we've had full on fights.
We've had like fist fights over the song. Like we want to drop this like midway on tour, when we were still a drinking band and not just, a casual drinking band. We were like, burning down the road, fucking being crazy 20-year-olds. And yeah, it was like one crazy night, like, we got to get rid of this song. And like, fuck you, it's our best fucking song. And then it like blew up from there because of the alcohol, right? And then we stopped playing the song. We did stop playing the song for about a year. And then Braedan, our bassist, Brady, who was
the guy who wanted it to be gone in the first place.
He didn't know how to play the song anymore. We had a different song of ours called Long Time Coming. And the chorus went, long time coming, it's been a long time, which we wrote by teasing Jordan and going, go fuck yourself, Jordan. Go fuck yourself. And it became a set song that we played hundreds of times with that melody. And Braedan one night was messing with Honey Brown in his room. I guess it just, it sometimes just happens like that. Like you start playing an old song that you hated and then you reinvent it. And what he had done was he played the Honey Brown and then he put the chorus from Too Late from Long Time Coming into it. So originally the chorus to Bad Honey Brown was, hey, it's after midnight, pour me another drink. And when you hear that, that's now just a little transitional bridge. And the actual chorus is Bad, Bad Honey Brown, which was the long time coming. And so, I'm pretty happy that song's on the album because it's like, for me, it's crazy the turmoil the song's gone through, but it shows.
It's got history, man.
It shows to me, and I think everyone in the band that a good idea. You can try and throw a good idea away, but it's going to keep coming back. Like a real good idea is going to want someone to do something with it.
Yeah.
And and I just love that song. On the record, I had to think about what in a different interview. No shade. I had to think about what my favorite song on the record was, and gosh, I narrowed it down to what song I have the most fun playing, and it's Honey Brown.
Yeah, it's such a fun song.
And then 5 More Minutes, our next single. I can tell you that because that's planned out. Our next single is 5 More Minutes. And that's Connor's song that he wrote and sings the lead on. And
he brought it to us, and it was like this kind of jazzy thing, and then we made it really rock and roll, and then it's just turned into this like. It's one of my favorite songs ever. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. And there's a lot of songs on there that are like that. Like for a moment, of course, a record being 3 years old and practicing 3 days a week to a record that's aging, it's like an old classic record to us at this point because we've played it hundreds of times, thousands of times even. Because sometimes we'll put the record on 3 to 4 times and just blast through it. And we stopped doing that for a minute. It's like it's somewhere around the second year. It was like, maybe these songs aren't that good. It's like we are writing better songs than what's on our record now, for sure. If you come to our shows, we got new songs in the sets that are like, ooh, these songs. So there is a second record being written. Underway. So we will have a follow-up album, definitely.
I forgot what I was saying. I lost my track.
He's going off the rails.
Off the rails.
Yeah, and then we stopped listening to it for a minute, and then we came back and started playing the whole album as a band again, and kind of refamiliarizing ourselves with our catalogs that had been 6 months or so with lockups not letting us play.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was really hard in the pandemic because of the restrictions. So you couldn't have people that were outside your bubble together, and only half of us lived together. So half the band could never come around. So it'd be like 6 months at a time where there's nothing happening. So we started playing the record again, and even songs that we thought we didn't like on the record, everyone's going, "Oh shit, that's not a bad song."
Good, yeah.
So every song on the record we believe is a pretty good song that maybe you would enjoy if you like rock and roll music, you know.
Well, I'm sure they'll enjoy it if we've enjoyed it for 3 years.
I think that's a testament, right? Like some people say that like you gotta drive around in a car to like test a song. I think the 3-year
we've done the
test
road
is also. I feel like the 3-year test should also be like, you know, a thing where it's like, is it still good? It's still good.
A good song, yeah.
Hell
We're not
yeah.
sick of it after 3 years. I guess that is a good
Yeah.
Good sign for sure. And I mean, after even waiting 3 years, I'm enjoying my first couple listens of Underwater. I'm excited for the rest of the album. I
Heck
cannot
yeah.
wait to hear it.
That's the most exciting thing for us. Is it's the first time for everyone else, you know.
Hey, absolutely.
So cool.
See how once you let it out into the world and see what it does from there, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Let your child grow up.
Hey,
Feels like we've
absolutely.
been like protecting and babying our child, and now we're letting it out of the nest for the first time.
Now it's a rambunctious teenager. We don't want nothing to do with it. Yeah, go down to the arcade again, John. See if I care.
Well, I can't wait to see where that rambunctious teenager takes you guys, where it carries you into the future. I'm excited for the next album too, of course, but I'm ready. I'm here to see these 12 tracks. Hopefully I can find myself.
Heck yeah. Where are you located?
Kamloops, British Columbia.
Hey, we were just down there playing shows. So
I
we'll
just
be back.
missst you.
Yeah. We'll be back. We just played Kelowna.
Okay, sick. Well, I'm sure you'll be back soon then.
Any venues you'd recommend for Kamloops? We haven't really made stuff.
Oh, yeah. Connor would love that we're asking that.
Okay, so Blue Grotto, definitely a place that you might want to go.
I've heard about the Blue Grotto.
Yeah, there was a nightclub that's currently being renovated right now. It's under new ownership. Once they open up, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a pretty banging spot for shows because it's actually same team as Blue Grotto. So they rock the Grotto, they'll rock that. And then there's a couple other places. There's just like the Effie just opened up not too long ago. And like there's a couple actual spots in Kamloops now to actually host shows. And it's nice.
Yeah, we're definitely looking at possibly doing something in either late November, maybe early December, possibly.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going down to Rossland.
Yeah, we're playing Rossland.
We actually
November
might be coming through your neighborhood. We'll get you on the list.
Hey, so if anybody wants to keep up to date on those dates, go ahead and follow Chase the Bear on social media so you can not just stay up to date with dates. This upcoming album, Honey, Leo, Troy, I need to thank you both so very much for joining me here today on the DTP.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. This was really fun. And he means it. Look up Chase the Bear or we'll delete your Netflix. We're coming for your Minecraft. We're coming for it all. Your YouTube.
Your Fortnite.
Music over Netflix.
Your Fortnite. Whatever it is. Your dog. We're coming. Oh, my goodness. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Peace and love. Rock and roll.
Peace.
Bye.